Okay, today we're gonna run BlackFathom Depths on my low-level protection warrior. This is the first boss. There's nothing to him. He just hits you. You hit him back. He has a lot of armor, but if you have any caster DPS, it's not gonna slow him down. Um, yeah, this instance is really kind of boring. There's not really much to do here. You swim a little bit, which is different from the other dungeons, but yeah, it's really just a boring. I think every boss in here is just tank and spank. If you were leveling, I would suggest maybe trying to skip this dungeon. It's not my favorite, but here we go. Okay, this first boss, he hits pretty hard. This second boss is out of the way, like some of the bosses here are. She's a caster. She does some kind of chain lightning thing. Basically, you spin her away from everyone else, which I'll do in a second right here, yeah. And now she only does the chain lightning towards you, so you should be fine, and no one else in your group should be getting hit by it but you. She is, like I said earlier, she's out of the way on the side and stuff. It's pretty boring to tank most of these things. This Murloc guy, he really doesn't do anything. He just kind of hits you. One thing about this boss, though, is there is a crystal behind him that if you hit after it, you get a buff that increases your intellect and spirit and, I think, frost damage. Which it doesn't really do anything for a warrior, but out of this group I'm in, the only two people to click on this and get the buff were myself and the rogue. So it really didn't help us out at all, even though the intellect and spirit could really help maybe some casters. The healer could obviously benefit. So you may want to make sure people in your group go ahead and grab that. This boss is underneath where the last boss is, and this boss is a pain to fight because you're actually underwater, and I hate trying to swim. I can never get in the right spot. I'm always ending up underneath or behind the mob, like right there. I didn't know I wasn't hitting it. Yeah, this is kind of, if you don't mind the swimming and stuff, then it's not a big deal. The hardest part of this boss is trying to make sure that no one in your party drowns, which is not hard to do. There's an air bubble right above you. Yeah, but really, just another tank and spank boss. Yeah, this run was actually going kind of slow because if you can see my damage meters that are up right there. I was actually the second highest damage in this run, right after the rogue, and our other DPS were not doing too great. This boss right here, he's a caster. He puts everyone to sleep all at the same time, which I should break with every man for himself, but I have a hard time because this is my first ever character that's been human. I don't realize I have a PvP trinket racial. Yeah, he's not really a big deal either. Other than that, the only reason I actually lose aggro here is because during the sleep, the Ret Paladin, I think, pops every man for himself, and he'll aggro to anyone who's not asleep. This is the last boss. He actually doesn't enrage. The enrage, though, isn't all that bad. I guess it's supposed to increase his damage. It doesn't really. You can actually stun this guy too if you wanted to save stuns for during the enrage. But really, it's not a big deal. Right there, he enraged for a second. He'll enrage again here in like right towards the end of the fight, and I actually have an ad on me as well as the boss, and I don't think that my health drops below 90%. So we had a good healer this run, and as long as your gear is decent, this place should be no problem for you to tank at all. And that's about it for this run, so